that's an interesting one to be given. Avatar, The Last Airbender, the unaired TV pilot. Although, yeah, it actually is quite interesting. It really is. It really gives us a chance to talk about what goes behind making something actually good. Before we even begin talking about this unaired pilot, let's talk about Avatar The Last Airbender, the cartoon show that became
its incredible power and dealt a deadly first strike.
I love this show. Honest, I love it so much. It's funny, it's clever, it's heartfelt, the story is grand, the characters interesting and vibrant, the themes deep, the animation beautiful, the fight glorious. This is, if you ask me personally, the best animated TV show to come out after 2000. It's an epic, and in the best sense of the word epic, classic fantasy story taking place in a fantasy world, using all the old school rules and formulas and breathes new life into them. Every detail has been thought through, and overall, it's just damn good. Enter this unaired pilot, which, I got to be honest, it doesn't seem like an unaired pilot at all. I don't believe this was ever intended to be shown to any public. What this seems to be is an animation and character test to show a TV station what the show could become and why they should buy it and spend extra time on it. This is, to put it in other words, well, it's a demo reel. Now, anyone who ever seriously worked on a movie or a stage play or written a book or anything like that, they will all tell you the same thing. A good movie is never like that, just written. That does not happen. Well, it does, but then it's not very good. A good movie is always rewritten and rewritten and rewritten and rewritten and reworked, then rewritten. You always start out with your first draft, which will always be very flawed. Then you figure out what works and what doesn't work in that first draft and fix the things so you can have a good final project. Sometimes even things you thought were brilliant when you first worked it out turned out to really not work. And that is the process of making a movie, a television show, a book. It is rewritten. Stuff that feels so important in the beginning will be turned out, and well, that is this project. And that's this demo reel, an early draft of the show which helped the animators and storytellers to find out what worked and what didn't. The basic elements for the show that indeed would end up working is there, but here they haven't figured out how it'll work yet, which is why they needed this demo reel. The characters here just aren't finished. They are half-baked. Aang is basically the same airheaded Avatar, only in the real cartoon show he was toned down quite a bit and made more human. You understood there why he acted like he did, and he was a very sympathetic character from day one. While here, he is out of control and acts like an asshole. Really, he is not a very nice person in this demo reel, and has nearly become the likable character we learn to know and love in the show.
Closely.
Katara isn't even called Katara, but here she's called Kaya. And also her traits seem to have been dialed up to 11, or rather she haven't been dialed down yet, which means that she becomes obnoxious and annoying.
Okay, for the last time, waterbending is not playing. Braiding my doll's hair, now that's playing.
Which is once again something they probably used this demo reel to catch and fix it for the real thing, where she is a much more likable character. And Sokka, I always thought he was rather sympathetic in the show because you always get the shaft, and it's the same thing here. I like Sokka. Zuko here is a completely different character entirely. He is nothing like the lovable, conflicted, socially awkward person we ended up learning to know and love. In this demo reel, every single trace of his conflicted character is gone, and we are left with a very standard issue villain with no real redeeming traits. and nothing that stands out about him other than the design and the voice acting. Had this been the final Zuko, he would have become a very forgettable one-note villain. Even his uncle Iroh has completely vanished from this scene, which probably means they hadn't even come up with him at this point. And probably hadn't even figured that Zuko would become much more than just a villain. The animation in comparison to the real show is stiff and flawed, but again, I seriously don't believe that this was ever meant to be shown to any public, and it's mostly just meant to give any developers a taste for what it can become. It's the first experimentation of bending battles and how real martial arts would inspire the different kinds of bending, which looks okay here, but does look way better in the real show where it looks amazing. All in all, what we actually see here is a project in its earlier stages, while writers and animators are still trying to figure the whole thing out and uses this as a tool to figure this stuff out. That they even got to make a demo reel before starting making the actual thing, that they have the pre-production time for all of this. It shows in the actual pilot, and it shows in the entire actual show. You know what the main problem is with so many Hollywood movies at current time? Not enough pre-production time, and that's all it comes down to. Pre-production is the time where you figure out the story, the characters, the themes, the entire foundation for the thing you are making. It's where you plan and flesh out everything. If you rush the pre-production, which seems to be the easy thing to do, you'll end up with an unfinished project, and that shows. You know what the secret behind Pixar is? It's their pre-production time. It's the fact that they spend the exact same amount of time on animating and pre-productions. Seriously, this is how it works. For each team of animators, they have 2 teams of production designers. So while one production design team is working with the animators to finish their project, the other production team is currently working on the next one without having any animators on the project yet. That way, there won't be a break for the animators, the production team won't be rushed, and you end up with screenplays that has been thought through. Without solid pre-production, there isn't the armament of last-minute fixing that can save your flawed movie. It just won't happen. It's the things that comes from a lack in pre-production I, as a personal critic, complains about the most. Also probably because I, as a person, look more at the story and the characters and the writing more than the actual directing. I am a bit more of a writer type than a director's type. But all of my main complaints in most movies could have easily been fixed in a better pre-production. And had this show not gotten as much attention and a demo reel like this, I probably wouldn't have liked it nearly as much. Any hack can just match something together and put it out on a weekly basis and call it comedy. But to create something truly great, it takes a lot of time, a lot of caring, a lot of meddling and rewriting, and a lot of fixing from the get-go. Nobody ever gets it right in the first go. And thank God there's still people caring enough about it to go through that long path to get something truly great. Which we did get, so check out the show that came after it.